multiple teams, hitting some of the sports headlines, multiple teams are reportedly remain interested in Deshaun Watson, currently the Texans quarterback, without the civil cases being settled. This according to Pro Football Talk. And he faces 22 overall cases, 9 of those being criminal cases. The judge earlier this week ruled that he could give his deposition on the civil cases, not the ones that are going to the criminal courts. But if he gets the 9 criminal cases settled in the near future, it's like, according to the report, it's likely that a trade would go down this offseason. That goes back to a point I was attempting to make on Monday, and that is, this is an offseason where the Texans are happy to unload his contract because they immediately go to the front of the pack, not the front, but among the best teams with cap space just by moving him. It's not like a $10 million payment this year. It goes up substantially. And you know he's not going to be back with you. You got to find a trade partner, and it's time to move on. You've already been through the purgatory for one season. You're likely hitting it again, and you'd like some cap space in order to actually sign free agents for longer than 1 year.
Yeah, and Lovie Smith was asked about the quarterback position. He said it's the one position I'm not thinking about because Davis Mills is our quarterback, and we're thrilled with how he closed the season.
They'll save $24.2 million in a pre-June 1st trade.
You know, it's also
and they already have, I think, significant.
What jumps out to me about this? Not a single NFL team is saying we're not going to employ that guy because of the accusations. Just get it cleaned up. Just pay off the women, and we'll trade for you. It's funny how the business works.
Well, they feel also he served his time in purgatory.
Well, it's worse to have.
I think the league feels like that.
It's worse to have at times political controversy around you in terms of teams signing you, or for optics, than having 24 accusers. It's still something horrific.
It's still
but not one team has come out and said we would never employ that guy based on these accusations.
You're not at a point where you can talk about him.
Well, it depends. It depends what the asking price is.
Well, and
it's risk versus reward.
It's a lot about his talent. Obviously, talent wins out more than anything else. But Paul, in other instances, we would hear of reports. I know of a handful of teams that would not touch Deshaun Watson, even if this gets cleared up this offseason.
Well, I also
because of that, we would be hearing about that. We're not hearing any of that.
There may be some, Chad, but I think the thing is right now nobody wants to eliminate anything. It takes away some leverage. If you're in the market for one of these other quarterbacks, you want everybody to believe that you're in on all of these quarterbacks.
Well, but if you are, let's use Miami for the example. If you have Tua, which is you've got a new head coach. You have, and I know that it was Flores who was in on him, Watson, I'm saying, but I'm using him as an example of the quarterback. You're on the fence there. You've got a new head coach coming in, and the way he views the quarterback situation will certainly dictate them moving forward, how they go about planning for the future or getting the most out of the current guy they have. If the asking price is low, and there's minimum risk involved in the future of your franchise to acquire Deshaun Watson. If you end up acquiring him and these cases are ruled in his favor, well, now you've got a considerable upgrade for not much of an asking price. And if they're not in his favor and he gets suspended, you're not out the bankroll that it's going to take in the draft in order to get him. So I think it almost takes a team that's kind of half in with their quarterback to order to get the deal that makes sense. Because if you don't have your franchise quarterback and everyone knows it, and there are a lot of teams this offseason who could have a new quarterback starting for them. Not half the league, but nearly half the league is listed, and we'll get into that later in the show. But point being, Paul, if you're extremely needy, the asking price goes up. And if you can... and then that's where the risk is involved with acquiring him. When
is the point of no return? We've got to do something for the Texans.
June 1st.
Because we know the whole time the Texans are, can we please hurry up these proceedings one way or the other? Can we get some clarity so we can deal this guy for the ransom that we want for a great top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league? But if it goes up to that date and it doesn't look like we're going to have any clarity anytime soon right now, then do you sell lower? You know, if you're Houston, that's the question.
And I don't disagree
and
with
I think you have to.
McClain.
Well, one of the things you want to know
exactly.
from the league is what kind of potential suspension there could be. And I get the sense from
that's my point. At some point, the Texans are going to have to just swallow their pride and say, all right, we're not getting much in return for him, but we got to get rid of the guy. We got to get him off the books. And then the other team is saying, yeah, we're going to give you not much because we don't know if it's going to be a year-long suspension.
Define not much. And I think the league could well say time served. That Houston doled out the suspension. You know, it depends on what comes out here.
What suspension?
There's a variety. That Houston doled out, quote-unquote, punishment by not playing him for a year, and the league gets away with that.
They paid him in full.
To not do anything.
I agree.
I mean, he faced no
the league
consequence.
got away with this easy. The league never had to say a word about anything because Houston chose to handle it, quote unquote, handle it in-house.
I think it's insanely ridiculous if the league doesn't suspend him for something.